Welcome everyone. It's Harry the Soul Coach, and I'm back again for another research video. And I'm staying on the Q posts. All the truth is on the Q posts. The truth is what's taken place in this world. The truth has been documented and shown to us in real time. When those events did happen, Q was posting. At that time, you could see the military operation was well underway, and Commander-in-Chief Donald Trump was also in on the action. And there's a number of Q posts with his tweets where it only could mean one thing, that it's all part of a plan. There's no such thing as coincidences, and I'm going to show you even more examples of that. And all it takes is for you to go on the Q post now. People have tried stopping us go on there throughout this awakening. Many repeated comments, many triggers, it's a psyop, things like that, continuous. And all it takes now is for us to bring awareness. Who was those people? Throughout this awakening, it's been a game of chess, the dark and light. The light now been shining bright, awakening a lot of people up to the truth with awareness. Our awareness is our light. And the collective consciousness is now rising, which means all the darkness in this world, we're now seeing it. We're now learning what has taken place. We're finding out hard truths that a lot of that has impacted our life directly. And soon we're going to start finding out the system that has been involved with all of this, and the personnel and people too will be people that we know very well in our life. At different stages of your lifetime, you're going to see that there's been people working part of the system to corrupt you, to distract you, to trick you, to deceive you. It's all about using your energy, our energy. It's God's energy. And using our words, the will of the man, the power of the words, the spell casting. They will ask the right questions. They will set up the environment. They'll have a plan in place to deceive more people. It's magic and deceitful at the same time. And that spell completely disappears when we start bringing awareness to everything that has gone on. So if you go back now, Donald Trump first coming as president, the Q post kicked off the end of October 2017. And a few days later, on the 4th of November, you're seeing the arrest take place in Saudi Arabia. At that same time, Q's talking about Saudi Arabia, giving us an educational lesson, showing us that Obama was funded by them to go to Harvard, knowing that his whole role was being to make it to president, training him to be able to handle that position, and at the same time sell out America, weaken the military, infiltrate from within, at the three-letter agencies, infiltrate there, the courts, the judges, and then it was going to be a handover to Hillary Clinton. But the good guys have been following along all the way through. Every step of the way where the evil people think they have control, we're monitoring in the shadows. And now we're starting to see a lot of these people and systems come out of the shadows whilst the darkness is being linked all together. And it's going to be casted away from this world. We just have to see it. So when we go through the Q post now, knowing that it was at that time, and we can verify it quite easily now, that means it's all truth. And you can go through all of it. It's educated us on everything about this deep state, what to look, what things happen in politics, the different personnels and how certain groups and organizations link together, the processes when it comes to the Senate and the House. We didn't know any of that before. And then above that, what goes on in the world events and the people that we're looking out to. Donald Trump's trip around the world versus Obama going before and after wherever Trump did, the shadow government, the shadow presidency. There was all of that taking place and we wasn't aware. So 2016 to 2020, Trump was in, making America great. Then the Make America Great Again is when he comes back. And I'm going to show you how many things have been in place. We have to go beyond politics. We have to know that we are in control the whole time. Q already tells us that. Q tells us we're watching a movie. Q tells us the military is the only way. Q already says that declass is taking place, that many CEOs stepped down, Many people are being forced out. The FBI, John Brennan, James Clapper. Q told us all of that. It's already happened. So although you still see these faces on the TV, that's the game theory. That's where they've been replaced and swapped in with actors. What makes a great movie? Good actors. Q's telling us. Why is that important? Because that sounds crazy and outrageous. Because these are just the top heads. Yet the real crime takes place in everyday life all around the world, which we wouldn't be any privy to at all. Organizations, companies, friends, family. There's corruption at every level. That's what now is being cleared out. So first of all, Hugh showed us the highest levels, the elite levels, what goes on there, how it works, knowing that this whole system unfolds all the way down. When Biden then won 2020, that was all done by design. Then all of a sudden you watch people that were panicking feel relaxed, like they've got control again. So they go off and continue the dirty work. This plan's been so good is that criminals always hide behind the truth, and they would have seen by looking at the Q posts that the good guys are winning, taking out evil at the very tops. The military are in control, and Donald Trump is the commander in chief. Donald Trump was trolling many of these accounts by resharing and retweeting at the time. And their ego was like, oh, he's seeing our work, he's putting it out there, which means they speak about it even more. They think they fooled Donald Trump. They haven't at all. So they talk. They break down all the Q posts. They're showing you what's going on. And then all of a sudden, Donald Trump loses. So all these people that now claiming to be Trump fans and Trump supporters going against the Democrats and all the corruption now have to continue that. Now have to keep going on about election fraud because Donald Trump, when that took place, he stepped back. So the teachings come for the first 3 years, and the Q post pretty much stopped after that. And then it allowed us to start paying attention to everything, whilst the people that got caught in the lie now need to argue that the elections were cheated. So now we've got all these people stuck having to do the work of the good guys to expose themselves. And that's what we're seeing now in politics. And you're seeing all these politicians, they're all just delaying. And now they're cutting funds off the FBI and stuff. Again, it's a movie, it's a circus. A lot of these politicians had to cut a deal and they're still being controlled like puppets by the good guys because it's a movie that's being projected to the masses now. So the real crime is every day. The celebrities, the big pharma, all the things that you're complaining about still, that's already taken place. It's the names that we do not know, which is now taking place because COVID now comes back into the equation. So all the people that are vocal about that now have to come back into it. They were true patriots, true truthers, fighting for justice. Now they have to come back into it too. So they're arguing against their own system. And then you're going to start seeing, as this unfolds, we're going to see the timeline of events going back to 2016 with the spying on Trump, with the Russia collusion, with the Mueller report, impeachment 1, impeachment 2. You would have seen all of these things in place. However, all the people involved in it, January the 6th, a lot of truthers went there, knowing what the plan was to peacefully protest. Yet they realized that the media were going to put loads of stuff out on it. They've got caught on it. We control fake news. So I'm hoping you're getting what I'm saying is, first of all, we learned how it all took place at the highest levels. Yet if you paid attention to the Q post, arrests, people being stepped out, forced out, you can see it all taking place. So things would have been dealt with at the top, but we're still in control of those companies because they're so big, massive organizations of crime, that it goes down again to every level. So the people in the middle have no clue what's going on. The people at the bottom that have been speaking about the truth, the conspiracy theorists, where the rest of the criminal syndicate normally stays away from, have now been completely wrong about Donald Trump winning, which they were all confident. They've also been labeled conspiracy theorists and anti-vaxxers and everything by the media too. So it creates a massive bridge and a gap between the belly of the beast and, let's say, the big world, big tech, big corp, big pharma, and all their little workers in between. So it's divided. Both now sections have normal people, brainwashed, matrix, good people fighting for the truth, awakening, and then the corruption blending in. So what is quite interesting now, I'm now looking at all things, and they're using Joe Biden to do the work that normally the criminal syndicate would be bringing awareness to both sides. The people that are the gatekeepers would be getting all this information, and they play against each other. So it'd be Democrats versus the rhinos, but they're all on the same team because people in life want to make a choice. So if one's wrong, the other one they assume is right. They've always had that before. However, because the whole world is seeing the stupidity of Joe Biden, if you pay attention to the executive orders being signed by Joe Biden, there's some good stuff that actually is happening. And before your ego goes off, that's not Joe Biden. So you make all these good things happen, as well as the ones that the media reported on, like he's not doing anything. And no one's paying attention regardless. The gatekeepers are not going to go look all the good things Joe Biden's doing because people are going to go like, why are you supporting Joe Biden? And the liberals and all the people in the corporate world, which are just blending in, they're not going to admit to voting Biden at all. Even though if you look, the executive orders are still in place. What that confirms is Donald Trump is in control. So I'm going to show you on one of the executive orders to do with Venezuela. And all it is a continuation. It's an extension from Donald Trump's orders. Biden wouldn't be doing the extension. So again, you can see that all these extensions are taking place, but no one's now commenting on that. No one can even come forward and say, Biden's done all this good stuff because the world won't accept it anymore. They won't listen to it. We follow what we're being shown. So why is that important? Because on the other side, they can say all these good things that are taking place, but behind all of that, the new world is getting prepped for us. So a lot of the things happening in foreign countries, you'll see in the executive orders talk about still the sanctions being put on them. And then you can start appreciating how these gangs and cartels, all their funding has been cut. A lot of the people from America funding a lot of these criminal organizations, the funding and sanctions were cut whilst Trump was in. So when Biden first come in, can you remember when he signed so many executive orders, like turned them all around in the first few days? That was done on purpose because the criminals all of a sudden like, sweet, we're back in business. But now it's like a rush, get things back going. We've been losing for the last few years. They're all on a turnaround, but you're now watching the money. You're watching all the channels. You're paying attention to the communications. NSA now gets in, phone tracking. And again, you're setting up for them to fail at every level. They're desperate to make money. And they're excited now that they're back in control and they can see it on the TV. And Joe Biden's now saying, come to our country. The playbook, they're still following along. Yet the person now at the very top is now with us. And everyone else watching the movie on both sides is now getting sucked into it, buying into the narrative from the perspective we're being shown. However, we have to change our perspective. So let me show you a few more posts to just confirm control. So just a quick one on here as well, because it showed us everything. So watch this. So this one had Anderson Cooper, the mother and the brother. And in the picture showed this thing, which equals human sacrifice. You see it's the Bohemian Grove. There's a lot of talk about that again with that boxer coming out on Twitter the other day. So this was a Q post, just with the Gloria Vanderbilt posing with Anderson Cooper and his brother with a human sacrifice sign. Look, if you then go to Anderson Cooper's brother, look, she relived it constantly. Anderson Cooper recalls how his mother, Gloria Vanderbilt, was haunted by the suicide of his 23-year-old brother, Carter, as he opens up about the tragedies that have plagued his family. So it says suicide by the brother, but they were advertising that brother on this photo as a human sacrifice. Q was showing us things like that. So again, you can dig into a lot of stuff when it comes to sacrifice. But what I typed in next was Delta. So the main role of the gatekeepers is to stop people coming on the Q posts. Most people awakened to the truth in 2020 onwards. Q almost stopped posting after the 2020 election. So people are waking up during that time, don't have fresh posts and excitement. They're relying on the people that did know all the stuff about Q. And a lot of those people don't want to talk about Q anymore because Donald Trump's tricked them. So you see things which people say is a delta. So if the Q post it's the 7th of March, 2024 today, let's say a 4-year delta would be on the 7th of March, 2020. So you could go back and you'll see the cleverness of these Q posts is certain posts on that day. If you go back, is what we're seeing in the news or events that are taking place now as well. However, a lot of people were unsure what Q was, if it's legit, if it was a military operation or anything, and people need proofs. And you hear so many numpties that obviously never been on it say there's no proof, there's no proof. So I've typed in Delta and I'm going to show you in real time, within a few minutes each time, Donald Trump tweets, then the Q posts were at the same time. You can't have that as a coincidence. They're linking together because his tweet is about the same thing. So I've showed you a few of these in some of the videos, but look, 3 seconds difference. Dan is to blame. So we click on here, 8:54, 8:54, and it talks 2 posts Donald Trump and they've posted about. So look, 30-second delta, 11:07 and 11:08. Read the transcripts. They are not attempting to remove Trump from office. The second and third Senate will not vote to convict. No laws are broken. They are attempting to protect themselves from prosecution and prevent the public from discovering the truth. So even at that level, they're trying to stop people finding out the truth. Look, these deltas are exactly the same. A 0-minute delta, 10:40, 10:40. The one case has the ability to bring down the many rich and powerful people, those who scream the loudest. And then he does one on John Solomon. As Russia collusion fades, Ukrainian plot to help Clinton emerges. It's a mirror. And there was loads of this all the way through. That new president treat, 1-minute delta after our one. Look, 3 today we've had. What are the odds of that? Then there was ones where it says Donald Trump does a speech, and this is leading up to the following year of the elections. And one of the Q posts with the map says, it is very simple. Without illegal votes, D's lose. Previous illegal immigration high population versus the D win by county provided. Example 2. Why do the D's push the illegals to obtain a driver's license? Does having a driver's license make it easier to vote? What states provide driver's license to illegals? What checks are in place with each of the driver license granted states to prevent 2, 3, 4, 5 times voting? Compare versus 2016, the presidential election results. What do you notice? Do you believe in coincidences? Memes are important. So it's showing like the key states. That's where they were then having to get all the illegals in. So they're getting the illegals in so they get votes because they knew, this post was in 2019, that they had no chance of winning unless they cheated. But 00 data. Trump team is with us today, friends. We love our memes, don't we, folks? Q plus. Q plus is Donald Trump. But again, imagine at the time, and you're just waking up, and then people are like, "Oh, there's a new Q post," and you're like, "What does that mean?" Oh my God, you're in on it straight away, because we have not taken the time to go back. Even though that powerful, powerful phrase, "future proves past," what we know now proves the past have already happened. We have to keep paying attention to that. But there's loads examples on here. Loads. Look, what a coincidence. Mainstream media, 5-minute delay, message sent. 1-minute delta, conspiracy. What a coincidence. Twitter shot in the oval, and then the next tweet, Q. So constant verifications all the time then. And a lot of the stuff they were talking about, this is what we're now being shown again. It's like going round in cycles, but we've learned a lot more about it. So that was just a few examples. And again, people try to just understand, if now this is the truth, think of it as the Bible before, and then everyone who doesn't want you knowing the truth now become the gatekeepers. They read the Bible, they tell you their own versions, they make it a bit more fearful, they call you a sinner. They'll go between the Old Testament and New Testament just to fit their narrative. They'll tell you about Jesus Christ, but then quote the Old Testament that has no mention of Jesus Christ and written 400 years before Jesus Christ. Contradictions, hypocrites, the gatekeepers. Same with the truth. Same with Q with the truth on here. A lot of the truthers were telling you all about it. Before 2020, they don't even go on to it now. They don't talk about it. The odd post would go, oh, it's a delta. Oh, this one matches what the president says now. If you go back and read it in the chronological order, even now you can search the dates. Look at all the posts around those dates, and you'll see they all link up. And then you've got countless examples of tweets and Q posts on the day. And then you'll also see be a Q post, and then a new executive order just goes out about what the Q post talking, showing that it's all linked. So again, break that down. Q is the truth, showing us, which means it can't be half truths, can't be a bit of this and a bit of that. You can't then pick and choose to fit your narrative based on what you think you know is right. And when I say think you know what is right, I challenge you, where are you getting this information from for you to think you know that's right? Because you've seen it all and you've heard more people speak. Gatekeepers. That's why it's important for us. The information is the information. It's our perception and it's our ability to change the perspective. You have to, because we're all going to get caught in the lie too, because it's bigger than all of this. Is about us waking up to the truth and being able to think for ourselves, which most of us are still following. We're still on that parrot mode. We're still on that sheep and repeat. We have to snap out of that, and we have to take the time to go and look. And this is the place to verify it all. There's 5,000 posts, and you'll see a lot of stuff coming out in the news now with the names like John Brennan, James Clapper, Andrew McCabe. Just go and type in, and it starts bringing out all the stuff that they've been telling us about for ages. It's a lot easier to connect the dots now. So much easier. So again, I keep coming on here because for me, it's like there's a film called Mercury Rising. Years ago, I watched it, and there was Bruce Willis, and there was a guy who had autism, and he broke the code in the back of his like word search book. And the code was actually put in by the CIA, and anyone broke the code that they needed to get hold of him. I feel like this Q posts, all of it is a code. It's to just understand it all. With understanding, then things start taking place. With understanding, people start processing. That becomes a knowing. That becomes then a truth to witness the movie, like it tells us we're watching. It allows us to work on ourselves when the triggers come up, because no, snap out of it. It's a movie. They're showing us all corruption at every level. They're taking over a lot of accounts. They're replacing people with AI. Replace with AI. Just process this as well. Your cell phone and every cell phone you've ever had. Remember, everything that's gone on a phone has been recorded, especially when it started going onto the internet, text messages, WhatsApp. Once you're on Wi-Fi, they have access to your phone anyway. So think about every phone you've had, and it's recorded every message. It's looked at all your Facebook and social medias. It works out what apps you use at what times, how long you're on the phone for, all your deleted messages. Imagine the waste bin. Where do they go? They have it. And in an investigation, they can just open your rubbish bin that you deleted them all out, like they would in the physical, go through your trash. You just have no control of any of that anymore. So even the word control, you've been trolled. The cons have been controlled by the white hats. So all of this is in the hands of the good people. We have it all. All the posts are truth, which means when parts of the story don't make sense, you go on here and you see it doesn't add up, or certain characters where you start hearing bad things about, like Flynn. All you have to do is go on a Q post. It shows you why Flynn was the target, the first one, because his direct access to things like the NSA. And under Obama, he saw what went on everything, director of intelligence. So he's a threat to all of them. And they've done all they can to silence people, but they lost control. So a lot of the people that are anti-Flynn will continue to try to make a little narrative, a spin out of it. The QPO says Flynn is safe. We protect our patriots. There's loads on Flynn. It's just the transition team straight away. He was the target. They set him up. The Pfizer application for Flynn, there was no justification for it. It was illegal. So again, it says Pfizer goes both ways. So the people that raised all of that, the Rod Rosensteins, Joe Biden, Susan Rice, James Clapper, James Comey, John Brennan, all approved it all, signed off by Obama. Their phones would have been tracked at that time in that meeting. And they would have seen who were they speaking to beforehand, where were they in location, who was they with. We got it all of it. Watch Snowden the movie and you'll see what I mean by the intelligence of this technology. So that phone that I said's got all the messages. The new quantums and AI scan all that. In a nanosecond, it knows everything about you. Preferences, locations, sites that you go on, pages you follow, communications, activity, who you meet in person, everything. In a nanosecond, you could scan that person easily and everything would just be automated. AI, quantum. And no one else would ever know. So there's a lot of people that have been replaced. And the narrative says, oh, people can get replaced by AI. And then a lot of the gatekeepers say AI is bad, it's dangerous. Yeah, all talking the same thing. It's a different perspective. AI is a saver for the human race. Artificial intelligence based on our behaviors. The people created that knew that. So they toyed with the idea of it being dangerous if we've come from the perspective that the evil people in control still. It's dangerous for them because they've now been taken control of. Everyone's being monitored at every level. Like, again, watch that film. They can turn on your laptop at any time. So you can see I'm getting excited, and it just makes people be able to connect the dots a lot more easier. It's very simple when you see, okay, now that makes sense, and you put them all together. It's one story. As soon as you get online with that story, you just watch it all unfold. There's no rushing. When's it going to happen? We've got November elections. And the Make America Great Again. Everything's just going to be for everyone to see. So Q is the truth. So anyone that says certain things will be able to come back on there to verify it. We're all capable of doing that. So let's come on to then, and you'll see there's a lot more for us to go and look into. But the questions it asks you is done on purpose for you to find the answer to. And a lot of questions they ask, the next line they answer it for you. It's cleverly done. So when I mention this one now about Joe Biden, some of the stuff that has been going on, because it's not Joe Biden, because we are in full control, we are writing the policies and the executive orders, and they're doing the extension of them, which Donald Trump put in place first, which Donald Trump created first. It means it's still Trump's operation. Clear proof. Clear proof. So this one was 2 days ago. On March the 8th, 2015. Oh, so let me first read this. Notice on the continuation of the national emergency with respect to Venezuela. So if you look on here, the president took additional steps pursuant to this national emergency in the Executive Order 13808, which was signed into play August 24th, 2017, Trump. 13827, which was signed into March 2018. 1385, which was May 21st, 2018. 13850, which was November the 1st, 2018, and Executive Order 13857, which was January the 25th, 2019, and another one in August the 5th, 2019. So all of those executive orders were signed by Trump. They're just extending this now. So the circumstances as described in Executive Order 13692 and subsequent executive orders issued to respect to Venezuela continue to pose an unusual and extraordinary threat to national security and foreign policy of the United States. Therefore, in accordance with Section 202 of the National Emergencies Act, I am continuing for 1 year the national emergency declared in Executive Order 13692. The notice shall be published in the Federal Register and transmitted to Congress. That was signed 2 days ago. So we go to Venezuela because I've read quite a lot what Donald Trump's done on it. So what was quite interesting, I typed Venezuelan news, and there's a lot of things about their elections being moved forward unexpectedly to the 28th of July. A lot of events are happening in July. And Venezuela has announced it will hold presidential elections on the 28th of July. President Nicolas Maduro, who has been in power for 11 years, is widely expected to seek re-election. His opponent, Maria Corina Machado, is banned from holding office for alleged financial misconduct, which he denies. So Maduro, recognize the name, because Donald Trump's already dealt with this country. So this is all optics, all optics. Look, Executive Order in 2019 on blocking property of the government of Venezuela. If you notice in his one, it says, I, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. There was no mention of Joe Biden. It just said, I am continuing it as president. So look, blocking property and suspending entry of certain persons contributing to the situation in Venezuela, as amended, as relied upon for additional steps taken in subsequent executive orders, and in the light of the continued usurpation of power of Nicolas Maduro and persons affiliated with him, as well as human rights abuses, including arbitrary and unlawful arrest and detention of Venezuelan citizens, interference with freedom of expression, including members of the media, and ongoing attempts to undermine interim President Juan Guaido and Venezuela's National Assembly's exercise of legitimate authority in Venezuela. So he put all these sanctions on so they couldn't do it all. And there is loads on there. Look, Donald Trump is cutting off the financial resources of Maduro and his cronies. The people of Venezuela are standing for freedom and democracy, and the United States is standing right by their side. So that was signed by Donald Trump. And then you can see there's loads of sanctions that he's done on all the countries. So then I went on to the recent executive orders from Joe Biden. There's 4 that signed this year. And the first one, which again, a few days ago, so March the 4th, 2024, the termination of emergency with respect to the situation in Zimbabwe. So again, international war. People now, there's no voice for Joe Biden and like trying to say, look what good he's done, look what he's good at, because no one's going to say it. Because usually the gatekeepers providing that information, they were playing both sides. There's no chance the Republicans are going to lose at all in this election. Trump's going to win all of it. So they're not mentioning this. And also, if you're a criminal trying to find positives to Joe Biden, you don't want people to find out about all the world conflicts are changing now and we're taking over. So Zimbabwe, I went on Trump's website and he put this in March the 2nd, 2018. Notice of the president's continuation of the national emergency with respect to Zimbabwe. So this was an executive order 13288 that he put in. So ready, we'll go back. 13288. So it's now been taken out because the national emergency in Zimbabwe is now stopped. Shows you things are taking place. So I looked at things like job opportunities and stuff, and the employment has actually gone up since Biden. And again, you would never know. You're just seeing what you're being shown, fake news controlled by us. People then start moaning still that it's not taking place. It's not about politics. Trump's getting the whole country sorted and ready. So I look, there's loads of different things on there, and you can try to check some of them. A lot of them we don't get told about. And then how Joe Biden is such a numpty when he speaks, no one listens to him or believes him anyway. So use your logic. It wouldn't be a continuation of the stuff that Donald Trump's done if Biden was against it all. Biden is obviously someone else. It's a resident, making him look stupid all the way through, showing America that there was a duality, showing the Americans that Donald Trump was always there for the people and he's always stood up against corruption, making the people now want Donald Trump to come back in to make America great again, because it was on the way to greatness, the biggest achievements ever by a nation. That's going to come back. And Donald Trump's also talked about the deportation, mass deportation, and you've got all, again, optics, all the illegals coming into the country, the invasion. Yet there's a lot of people that invaded good people and taken what was theirs unlawfully. All of this is still like a test for people. Are they going to be welcomed into the new world, or are they going to have to stay in this world and show that they are changing? The new world is waiting for us, and the technology, the architecture, the understanding, the education, all of that's going to be presented to us. Life changes. The spiritual being really shines through, and the understanding of this human experience is going to take it to new heights, new levels. So it's exciting. So think about now, everything we are being shown as part of the movie, we've now got ahead of the game. So we can now take the time to go back and make sense of it all because it's being shown to us. Digital soldiers is to push information out, to share information, to counter the misinformation. But yet people are not able to talk about anything else apart from what is being shown to us. And whatever is now being discussed, and if anyone argues against that, is still exposing the system, because it's everything going to be against everyone else. It's turning on each other. They've all got caught in the lie. All the people that have been on front of camera for the last few years have now been seen by thousands, if not millions of people in this movement. So people are going to wake up to a lot of real truths with people that have been claiming to be good, that are hiding from all the bad that they have done. Anyone that dismisses Q, they haven't been on. Anyone that moans about topics but unwilling to go and look, it's the opposite of truth. And anything that feels you're unsure of now, just take the time yourself to go onto it. I always leave the Q link as well in the caption. So if anyone's like, I don't know how to get onto it, read the captions. The answers are always there. The links will be put in there too. And it also, it's just that confirmation. Every time you think something bad is happening, every time you get disappointed because someone else is bad, and it's all part of the movie. There's a lot more good people in this world than bad, a lot more. We're just not being shown it because we have to be shown the darkness. If you can keep making sense of that and let go of thinking who you know because you've watched them on the TV for so long, and because they wear a MAGA t-shirt and stuff, you're going to find out a lot of these people are not good people, complete crooks. So for me, it's more and more exciting. I've realized I've done a lot of Q posts recently, but I just feel it's important to know it's already happened. And it's important then to look back to get a better understanding. Now we have more awareness to what has gone on. And then it helps connect all the missing pieces, the in-betweens, the links. That Gloria V's then got a link with the Rothschilds. So all of this is going to come back to the worst of the worst stuff: sacrifice, human trafficking, sex trafficking, child trafficking, the money laundering to these horrific crimes, and the lies that go behind that. And then after that, it is the organizations, the groups of people. That's the hardest part. So again, it's just prepping, it's just bringing more awareness to that and more confirmations that things are taking place. So people, if you have any topics of this that you'd like me to go over, I'll search on the Q post, leave links in here, leave comments below, and then I can definitely have a look. For comments like, if we're in control, why are they spraying the skies? Snap out of it. Stop repeating these phrases. Go and look. My question back to you, how many times have you said that same phrase without looking? It's a moan. We're in full control. Type in spray in the skies military. People, you have to snap out of this automated state, thinking that you know what's going on. You have no clue when you repeat like that. It's like they just feel like, I want to get my say in, so I'll just repeat the same thing again and again. The answers have always been there. Go and look. And the thing is, that might seem harsh. It only seems harsh if you're the one of the people that are actually doing it. It's laziness. And if you just look by asking that question continuously, shows that you don't trust what's going on. You're not paying attention to the stuff that's being shown. And you're not willing to go and confirm or find more out about it all. This is the Great Awakening for us. So it's those repeated behaviors that we need to snap out of. And the people that are watching this stuff, looking into the Q post now, spending time listening to me talking about the Q post, there's an interest there. You definitely resonate in some reason for you to be watching my stuff now. So it means our role is going to be very important because we're a very small group of people, percentage wise, in the world that has awareness to what's going on, that's gone through what's going on, that's now seeing the additional lies to the mass number of lies that we already know about. And now we're seeing everyone else in this system fast asleep still. We're seeing everyone in the truth movement that's still coming from a negative place. We're seeing the deceivers just going round in circles. We're seeing panic. We're seeing people turn on each other. It's happening so much now. It's the next stage. And when we get the real shocks, because they will be, it'll be sickening. And Q says a number of times, the choice will be ours to go in there. I know most of us that take this journey will want to know. To know that stuff, you have to prepare yourself. That's where the meditations come in. That's where taking time out for yourself, which means time out connecting you with God. God is every day, every second, every minute, as long as we ask and connect and tune in with awareness, with focus, tapping into God's energy, then you're not waiting. It's that simple. It's that powerful. This is God's story. And as soon as you tune into it, you watch it. And God will say, watch this now. Look at this surprise. Look what they did here. Look what our plan was. Look what we created to catch them all. You see it all. And then it says, they thought we were sheep and they thought we had trust in the stars. Think of us rising. You're rising closer to God. The higher up you get is going to be the more deceivers, the more devil worshippers, the more gatekeepers stopping you climbing up. So we're looking at these people like they're celebrities and you put them on a pedestal, but we're up there in terms of awareness as stars. It's all of our stars. Starlink. It's all in the words. We're all linking up now from a higher level of awareness. So instead of idolizing, look at people on a path. Know that you know more about world events than anyone else in this world. And I say it's a small percentage. I reckon you could narrow it down. Good people fighting in this war with the awareness to all this stuff that's going on. 2.5% max world. The Five Eyes countries is about 7% of the world's population. And all these countries, America, Australia, UK, New Zealand, Canada, most of those people are asleep. And then a third of those would be criminals. So you narrow it right down. It's taking the time to look at all this stuff, go through it all, understand it all, process it all, keep learning, keep connecting. Small percentage. That's when you start realizing the role that we have for the future, and you'll all be recognized because it's our awareness to this is going to help change the perspective for most people, help people understand when they're shown all of this in one go. The movie gets scary. If you want to go down that route and ride all those scary waves and get consumed by it, you're welcome to. Keep the negativity off my page. It's not welcome. You will get blocked and removed. It's not needed. It's unnecessary. And I know you haven't watched any of my stuff. If you're still watching now, most of the moans won't never come. It's the ones that just read the caption, think they know what it's about, moan, say something else, repeat something else. It's a repeated behavior, and they're the ones that we want just to awaken to the attachment part. It's everything is a movie we're being shown. It's on a screen. We haven't met half of these people that we're learning about in real life, and we never will. Yet we get really into it, really angry about it, and then we forget about other people that last year we was really angry about. Bill Gates, forgot about him. Where is he now? Ah, you mention his name, and the anger comes back. Tom Hanks, it comes back. The automated responses it has to be dealt with. So that's me waffling on a bit. However, it's the Great Awakening, and now we're going to lead up to November, where it will be the biggest red wave. So keep knowing everything you see is just opening up the doors for a lot more people to step into. And the more we see, the more exposing it means we're getting closer. So at some point, there will be a turning point where it is complete on the offensive, where you're seeing them really panic. The fake news, the mainstream media, the news channels, The View, all these programs now, it's so controlled by us. It's obvious. They're making it so outrageous. The points they're saying, like Trump's losing his cognitive dissonance and he's mumbling all the time. They haven't got anyone else to compare it to because Biden's 1,000 times worse. So yeah, it's moving us into that direction. So peeps, please remember to subscribe to the channel. Please do share this on. Please leave a comment if you have any questions about today's one and if you'd like me to cover anything on the Q posts. And apart from that, jump onto the meditations. Got some really cool things coming up soon as well, a new concept. And we'll see what comes up for everyone then. So take care, everyone. I'll see you all very, very soon.